if you want to learn the process to embodying and empowering the feminine spirit, then check out the book, Healing the Feminine Energy and the Wounds of Your Inner Child. All right, so the topic of today's video is we're talking about the fact that most people do not know what a man and a woman is, which is, becoming worse and worse as time goes on in this society. I'm just going to speak off the cuff, feeling a little bit inspired. But anyway, I was thinking about this recently, right? The fact that as time goes on, people know less and less what they are. They do not know that as humans, the human body is a biological machine which is programmed in a certain way with certain objectives, certain goals, it has a mission statement for itself that it wants to achieve. And most people don't know what that mission statement or the goals of their own biology are. And specifically in the area when it comes to men and women, right, the differences, the mission statement or the strategies of that biological machine is different according to, whether it's a masculine body or a feminine body. Now, this is crazy. This is crazy when you think about it. You are a spirit or an energy or a soul that is housed in this biological machine, and you don't know how it runs. And it doesn't matter who you are listening to this. Nine times out of 10, when I say that you don't know what it is, I'm going to be right. Because most people don't know what it is. This is crazy. We'll know English, we'll know maths, we'll know stuff about science, but we don't know what a man and a woman is. Now, why is it important for you to embrace or know what a man and a woman is? Well, because of the fact that I just said your body is programmed in a certain way. So upon achieving those objectives, you're going to find that you attain fulfillment. And you're also going to have trouble relating to the opposite sex or your partner if you don't know what a man and a woman is. I would think that would be a very important or necessary piece of information for you to know if you're going to relate to another biological machine which is programmed in a certain way. But what is it programmed to do at the heart of it? Each biological machine, which is the human body, is programmed to survive and reproduce, survive and copy itself. The genes which make up this biological machine are working in collaboration with itself to ensure its own immortality. I was about to say mortality. It's the opposite. It wants to ensure that it continues to live on forever and forever and forever. So you're going to die. You're not going to be here the next generation. You as the spirit, or you as the personality, I should say, you as the ego. But this body has plans to be here forever and ever and ever. And when you think about it, you've been here since the start of time. In some form, the genes that are here have been here 3.8 billion years ago. And that's crazy to think about. But as you know, if you said to the average person, hey, what is a man or what is a woman? Usually I find it's funny because the question usually is about what is a woman? And people say, a woman is anything that they identify with or whatever. But it came to my mind just now, people don't really say that as much about a man. Anyway, if you don't know what a man and a woman is, then you don't know the strategy which you're programmed to prefer to try to execute. So that is where gender roles come into play. And people hear gender roles and they assume that it means that everyone must do it and stick to the gender role 100%, and there's no flow, there's no, you can't not do it if you don't want to. We're not saying that. We're just saying that on average, for the average person in society, in a culture, in a community, the average person of a certain gender is going to feel a certain leaning to expressing in a certain way. And the other opposite side is going to have that same preference to lean to a different way. This is one of the reasons why relationships, communities, families are broken in this state, because you're not following the imperative of that biological machine. And what do most people do? Most people in this society want to say, oh, gender's a social construct, which, by the way, that line is a social construct, right? To say that gender is a social construct is a social construct. That has just been socially put out there, and people pick up that line and just say it almost like robotically from their head. That line is a social construct. So, but what I'm meant to say is that people focus on the social aspect of things and the psychological aspect of things. So people will think about gender patterns or the patterns of behavior in certain genders, and they will say, oh, well, society made it up. Society is the reason why that preference to behavior is there. But actually, they never talk about the biological setup that makes that behavior there in the first place. So they'll always talk about society, but they'll never talk about biology. And the reason they don't do that is because they know their argument will break, or their belief will break down upon reflecting on biology, because biology is the heaviest influence on your behavior. You can't change your biology, right? No matter if people think they can, you can't truly change it. But you can change a social construct. So people will say our social construct because they know that it's easy to change. It's easy to manipulate. You can go across different cultures and the social constructs will change. So if you say that's a social construct, then you backed yourself up by saying that, hey, well, we can change it. But if you admitted that it's biological, then you know it's designed not by a government or media or corporations or just people. You would know that it's designed by God. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up now. The point is the average man and the average woman don't even know who they are and what they are. They don't know the setup of themselves spiritually, psychologically. Even though we do say it's a social construct, they don't know what they are socially, historically, neurologically. They don't know the differences between each gender, but they don't even know what they are as that gender themselves. So maybe it makes sense that people say this rubbish about, oh, a man could be this and a woman could be whatever she's like, whoever identifies as one, right? Maybe it makes sense that people think like that because they don't know what it is. And I don't really blame them. I actually blame more the overlords of society for allowing and encouraging its citizens to think in such a way. But I would say it's important for you to understand it so that you can have a context of where you're coming from. You can have a context to understand your own behaviors, and you can have a forward moving plan to know what you must do in the future or what type of person you are. Or just things like that so that you can get the best chance of fulfillment, because fulfillment is going to be attained upon psychological, biological goals that are imprinted in you long before you came, actually. Once those goals are achieved, you're more likely to feel a state of fulfillment. But anyway, comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you agree with, disagree with. Also, by the way, follow me on my other channels. TikTok, I post a lot more content than I do on YouTube, but I'm going to try to post more on YouTube. But follow the TikTok, it's Reemus B, REEMUSB. And then also follow the Instagram, which is the same too. Peace. More than any other time in human history, a restoration, a repair, a respect for the feminine energy is needed. And if you want to check out the process to healing the feminine energy, then you can check out the book, which is available digitally